Hello there, welcome back to the Fact Flash. Yesterday, on the 18th of September, Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, once again took the national stage with a press conference that he called nothing less than a political hydrogen bomb. His words were blunt, his tone was direct, and his accusation simple but heavy. India's election commission is not protecting the importance of the voter list, but instead it is allowing what he called vote chori, the theft of votes. And just when everyone thought that this was already exclusive enough, Rahul slipped in another twist. He said that he has an insider sitting inside the election commission. Now imagine, the EC office today, half the people are scanning the voters list, the other half is scanning colleagues, whispering, "Tu hai kya?" Because if Rahul Gandhi is right, the EC doesn't just have a technical glitch, it has a full-blown spy movie plot brewing inside its walls. Give it a few days, and the commission might not be defending itself from Rahul, it might be busy conducting an internal sting operation to figure out who the mole is. Now, one would expect the headlines today to scream, Rahul Gandhi accuses EC of voter fraud, or Rahul Gandhi exposes mass deletions in Aladh. But if you look at the majority of India's newsrooms this morning and yesterday after this press conference happened, the headline you saw was not Rahul's accusation. Instead, it was Election Commission's denial. No deletion can be done online. That was the headline in most of the newsrooms. The EC said, and that became the headline of the day. The media, instead of amplifying what Rahul Gandhi actually presented, largely amplified the EC's defense. That framing is important because it shows us not just the story of vote chori, but also the story of how narratives are managed in Indian democracy. You get my point? So let's go back to the press conference itself. Rahul Gandhi walked into that room on the 18th of September, which is yesterday, with what he called hard evidence and systematic voter list manipulation. He said, and I quote, that we have 100% proof. His primary example came from the Aladh constituency in Karnataka. According to him, between February 2022 and February 2023, more than 6,000 Form 7 applications were filed to delete voters from the rolls. Out of those, he claimed only 24 were genuine. Just 24. The rest, he alleged, were fraudulent. How did that fraud happen? He explained that voter details were stolen, fake applications were filed, and in some cases, mobile numbers linked to the voters were not even from Karnataka. Can you imagine? They were generated from outside the state, and yet OTPs were sent, verified, and deletions went through. In short, he alleged a systematic effort to erase voters, not voters who had died or moved away, but active voters, and this appropriately, those who supported the Congress. Rahul didn't stop at Karnataka. He cited another example from Rajura in Chandrapur, Maharashtra. There he said that more than 6,800 names were deleted through fraudulent applications. When Congress filed a complaint, many of those names were restored. Why does this matter? Because the margin of defeat in the last assembly election in Rajura was over 3,000 votes. If those deletions had stood, the outcome could have been altered. Rahul's argument was clear. This isn't just an administrative glitch, it's targeted political manipulation, what he called outright voter theft. But while Rahul was spelling out these numbers, these stories, and these accusations, what did the Election Commission say? Their reply came fast, and their language was firm. The commission said that Rahul Gandhi's claims were incorrect and baseless. They said no deletion can ever be done online. According to them, voter deletions follow a strict process. A Form 7 application is filed, a booth-level officer physically verifies the claim, notices are issued, and only then can a voter's name be struck off. In other words, the EC says that it is impossible for someone sitting outside Karnataka to submit fraudulent applications and succeed. They added that they have already responded to multiple letters from Rahul Gandhi and his party, and that the system is robust, transparent, and tamper-proof. And this is where the media story becomes as interesting as a political story. Most media houses led with EC's denial as the headline, not Rahul Gandhi's accusation. If you open newspaper this morning, you didn't see Rahul Gandhi drops hydrogen bomb on the boat there. You saw no online deletions possible. EC counters Rahul. The framing makes it appear as though Rahul is a crying wolf, while the commission is calmly setting the record straight. This matters because framing determines perception. If a leader accuses the entire election commission of complicity in mass voter deletion, that's a bombshell story. That's a big story. He's not a random person. Rahul Gandhi is the leader of opposition. If the headline is just EC denies, it looks like business as usual. Now, Rahul Gandhi anticipated this. In fact, he said that press conference that he has been writing letters to the EC for 18 months, 18 letters in 18 months. And in his words, he received nothing but silence or token responses. He claims the EC has deliberately stonewalled him, and so he went public. He called the chief election commissioner by name, Gyanesh Kumar, and accused him of protecting vote shows, of shielding those stealing democracy itself. Now, that's not a light accusation. This is not gossip. This is the leader of opposition standing at the podium and saying India's top election authority is compromised. Of course, the EC pushed back. Their technical line is that every deletion requires field verification. Their institutional line is that no online manipulation is possible. But here's the catch. Rahul Gandhi says he has logs. He says he has IP addresses, mobile numbers, OTP records, all of which point to fraudulent applications being filed in mass. He says that he will reveal those in the coming days, which means what we saw yesterday was not the full show, but just the trailer. And he promised the hydrogen bomb is yet to explode. Meanwhile, political reactions have already started. Karnataka's chief minister and his ministers immediately backed Rahul. They said that they too have seen fraudulent deletion attempts and that state agencies are investigating. The Bharatiya Janata Party, on the other hand, dismissed Rahul's claims and theatrics. They said that this is nothing but Congress making excuses ahead of elections and that the EC has already settled the issue. Now let's talk numbers because they matter in a democracy. 6,000 deletion applications in one constitutes only 24 January. According to Rahul, 6,800 deletions in another constituency in Maharashtra. A margin of defeat of just 3050, which is 3,050 votes there. 18 unanswered letters to the EC. These are not small allegations. If proven, they suggest that voter roll, the very foundation of democracy, can be manipulated, not just by negligence, but by design. But let's also be fair here. What is proven? We know deletion applications exist. We know the Congress filed complaints. We know the Election Commission insists that its process is secure. What is not yet proven is whether thousands of those deletions were fraudulent. What is not yet proven is whether the EC ignored deliberate manipulation or whether this is simply the noise of messy voter division process. In every election cycle, names do get deleted for genuine reasons. Deaths, migration, duplicate entries. The question is whether the scale and the pattern Rahul is alleging goes beyond that normal churn. And that is why the story matters beyond just Rahul Gandhi, beyond just one party. If Rahul is exaggerating, then he must present the evidence and face scrutiny. If he's right, then India has a democratic crisis on its hands because the integrity of the voter list is non-negotiable. The Election Commission can survive criticism, but it cannot survive the perception of bias. And today, that perception is in the question. So the real headliner tonight is not just what Rahul Gandhi said or what the Election Commission replied. The real headliner is that the Indian voter is left in the middle between accusation and denial, between allegation and rebuttal, lies the ordinary citizen like you and me who just wants to walk on a polling booth and find their name on the list. The danger is not just whether Rahul is right or the EC is right. The danger is that millions of Indians begin to doubt whether their vote counts at all. That is where we are tonight. One press conference, one denial, one insider mystery, and 1,000 questions. And in the coming days, as Rahul Gandhi promises to release more evidence, the spotlight will only grow hotter. Will this hydrogen bomb explode? Or will it fizzle out as just another chapter in India's long history of political theatre? For now, the only certainty is this: India's democracy has been put on notice and the world is watching. Good night.